Heading out to see Jack Johnson at the I Think Financial Amphitheater slash douchebag financial in West Palm Beach, Florida, the home of our greatest president, Donald J. Trump. I say that just to annoy all you fucking snowflakes. I think he's pretty good. Certainly the best in my lifetime, hands down. That's no contest. How can I turn this around right here? But we just got on State Road 27, which flows down through the center of Florida. I don't know where it starts. I know it goes north of I-4 and stuff. It's the way I take up to Disney from Arcadia. And it runs all the way down to I-75, Alligator Alley, right there where you then you'll get onto 75 and you take the choice to stay on 75, continue south to Miami and Homestead and the Keys. Or you continue straight there, it turns into like 595 or something to get to, you basically got Fort Lauderdale, you just go straight there. Then you can pick up 95 and you go to Fort Lauderdale. Which is generally, if I go over in that area, well, I go to North Miami. I go to Haulover Beach quite a bit. I mean, not quite a bit. If I go to the beach over there, want to go to the Atlantic, I'm going to go to Haulover. But I figured I'd start streaming because we're here. Now this, I don't know what's going on up here. This could just be they burn a lot of their crops, like the sugarcane stuff. I don't know the timing on the seasons for that, you know, obviously after they harvest it. Or if this is a legitimate fire. But it could just be a pile. Look at all these nice, those are probably like lime trees. But it's a citrus. Still out here, but you've probably not within the next 10 years. It'll probably all be just shallow, hollow, soulless apartment complexes. Hopefully not. But let's see. It's funny because the last time I came down, I went to Haulover. And I was coming back around, after 11, deep night, late at night, and there was a forest fire. And the trucks were just arriving. And it's in the middle of nowhere. I'll show you. It's probably all burnt out, but the flames were up in the treetops. It was, this is a fucking fire. I don't think this is an intentional burn. I mean, look at those friggin' flames, dude. Yikes. Holy shit, man. That's fucking raging. I'm driving. Holy crap, that's fire. That's a fire. Caution, smoke ahead. See, this is what they do. They have to put this on the citrus trees, otherwise and that's what happened. I planted a couple citrus trees like in the first week, and they'd have tons of buds, but they could be getting eaten by something. That's a fire. It could be a controlled burn, to be honest with you. So, it's definitely raging. Pretty good. We'll roll with the stream for a while. Yeah, I'm south of Lake Placid and Sebring. They're good 30, 45 minutes north of me here. We'll be coming down to I believe it's Clewiston, the sweetest town in America. It's the home of U.S. Sugar. Leisure Lane. It's a good ride though, man. This is about as much traffic as you'll ever deal with on this road any time of day, which is nice. It's actually a pretty cool ride. You know, it's just flat as a pancake, and whether you go to, I'm heading to West Palm Beach, and but if you take the route we go through Clewiston, and then you go through South Bay, and those are both on the southern perimeter of Lake Okeechobee. And I'll be going, once I get into you go through Clewiston, then it's about 20 minutes to South Bay. And then at that point, if you continue straight on 27, it goes to in a southeast direction down to Miami, where it intersects with I-4, or Alligator Alley rather, which is 75. And then, but I'll be going north there in South Bay, and for a couple miles through one of the most rundown towns in Florida. I take a right, and it's just pretty much straight as an arrow into West Palm Beach. You go by Lion Country Safari. Curious if that's still open. I'm also curious to see what town is that you go through. You go through South Bay, but there's another town above that. I don't know if it's Belglade or something. I think it might be Belglade, B-E-L-L-E, Glade. I think a guy who played for the Colts, the running back in the day, one of the last guys I knew when I still kind of followed football, Hedger and James. I think he's from around this area, or that area. Gives a shit. Doesn't matter unless everybody knows, unless they're a celebrity. It's unimportant. Somebody's probably dying on the street you live on, but you're worried about Hayden Panettiere. And I don't even know who she is, but I am embarrassed that I know her name. But I did have a Panettiere, the same last name, growing up. RJ. Nope, that wasn't his name. AJ Panettiere. And his mother was a fucking nightmare. His father too, and AJ. He was a fucking pussy. He was one of those guys when we were growing up. He was like adult sized in 6th grade, like no lie, you know, plus over 6 feet, probably over 250, but not even a fat blob either. You know, he was a little overweight, but he could have played football if he wasn't a pussy, and so that's how I categorize that. I'm sorry, man, if you're too scared to play the sports through football, through high school, you're a pussy. That's the last chance most of us have, you know? I probably could have played Division II in hockey or football in college, but I wasn't interested in the time commitment and stuff like that. Just wasn't interested. But I had friends who I was better than in sports who did, so there's that. No big deal. I don't even know if I'm stroking my ego, just stating a fact. I mean, I played, you know, growing up, it was pretty much every season just signed. I think my mother signed, you know, it was just automatic. I was the youngest of 6. We get signed up for everything, you know, baseball, football, and hockey. And by the time I hit high school, I was pretty tired of baseball. I still played like Pony League or whatever you call it, Babe Ruth, but I didn't ever try out for the high school team. Just wasn't into it. And I played football and hockey. That was enough. That was enough. And you look back, and but you know, when you're whatever age I am now, or just a few years later, and you're like, you know, probably should have taken advantage of it when I could have, just for a couple more years. But I guess, you know, it gets to be a lot. There is just a little politics, just plays a little too much. You know, you got the father who's son, and the son sucks, but his son plays the exact same position you did. So you go from catcher to center field, which is still, you know, if they put you in center field, they know you're a player, but Then I did play a few years, some men's league. I forget what it was. Or it was like a Babe Ruth or I forget. I don't even know what it was because I was so uninvested in it, but I just played because they asked me to, and I actually played right field. And I didn't care. Because right field was pretty much the no man's land, you know. A little less so as people get older, as the talent gets older, because right field people do hit the ball to right field. But when you're in Little League, if you're playing right field, that's pretty much like we can put them there and hopefully nothing happens. As in, hopefully the ball doesn't go over there. But I was a lefty hitter, but there was only a handful of us, dude. And I used to get beamed all the time because nobody could pitch to left-handers. Or everybody hated me, whatever, either way. I remember I got hit twice in one inning. Sean Clancy, Cardinals. Mr. Kelly was the coach. He had his 3 sons. I'm not sure he didn't tell him to do that. I was friends with those kids, or I thought. It's funny because I had no doubt that I was friendly with them. I went over to their house all the time, but later on you just think, I'm like, maybe they just didn't even like me. Because they did turn out to be pretty weird fucking people. That whole thing was weird, the Kelly family. They were all good athletes and stuff, but they had 3 boys and a girl. And the girl was a real nightmare. You know, she was really cute, but she was just a terror. And she hated me. For some reason, I don't know. I used to go over there. Robbie was in my grade. We played together. We were in a lot of classes together. We played all. And then, I remember her father, the dad didn't work. He was always there. You don't notice that till later. You think back, you're like, yeah. So their money, they weren't, you know, extravagantly rich or anything, but apparently there was a lot of money coming up through there. But I remember he made hot dogs that were just fucking great. He put like butter on the roll and like had like a screen, you know, he'd boil them, but put the roll on the top, you know, with the screen over the boiling water and maybe butter in it. I'm not sure paying attention at that age and stuff, but I do remember being like, wow, those are so fucking good. But that was it, man. You go over there and we'd go sledding and play football and just sports, wiffle ball and shit, and that's what you did back when children were normal and parents were semi-normal. And then those people, my generation, raised a bunch. I don't have any kids, but my generation's kids are just the terrors we're dealing with now. You know, all those 25 to 35-year-old who are just absolutely worthless contributions to Earth. And if you're one of them, be ashamed of yourself. And again, not everything's 100%, but you guys are worthless in general. And I could care less how you feel about me saying that. This is my channel. So I'll say what I want. And there's nothing worse than people who whine like, oh, I'm going to report you. Fuck off. And having a moderator too. I mean, I have about 5 people in here ever, but any channel that has a moderator, you know it's not an honest channel. Like the Chicks on the Right, I like to watch. I watch that sometimes. And but they have a moderator. Like I'll even sometimes say something in agreement with them, and I got like put in 20-minute timeout or something. I'm like, wait a second. I think I used a word that was in a. I don't know. But if you use a moderator, you're a loser. I could care less what anybody says. And you should feel the same about anything I say. If we all spent less time worrying about crap like that, we'd all be better off. That was fucked up. Somebody actually appears to live in that. Damn it. It's like just like a mobile home or something over there, but it's all, I don't know. I think I remember seeing that the last time I went through there. I don't know, it looked like the minivan actually has the big orange sticker on it, you know, the cops put on there, like, tow this vehicle. The date, Palmdale. This is Florida, man. This is the interior. We're kind of west central Florida. It's not dead center. You know, Lake Okeechobee is kind of dead center, which is to my that way, which is east. But it probably looks different. If you're watching this, it probably look like I pointed to what feels like west, but it's east. I'm traveling dead south, more or less. So you get a little swamp. It's a little swampy over here and here. Swampy. I say swampy because when I went to UMass Amherst, a couple of my friends with these two kids, they were from Puerto Rico, but they were total beetle maniacs, so it was cool. I probably wouldn't have been friends with them otherwise. Not that I would have been unfriendly with them, but I hung out with them because we like to get high and listen to music. And I probably wouldn't have hung out with them, I guess. But one time we were walking out of the dorm, going to dinner or a party or something, and all the grass was wet and like it was like, and one of, and they were more Spanish, I guess, but they spoke English all right. But he's like, it's all swampy. And I just love that. That was like fucking 40 years ago. But that was just great. It's kind of like the Arkansas, Kansas thing. As in, if you're just reading, you'd be like, is it Arkansas or is it Kansas? No, it's Kansas and Arkansas. Well, but I remember one of my Spanish teachers, like freshman or sophomore year, Mark Ingalls. He had like the sweatiest armpits too. It was pretty funny. But he'd joke about it too. He was like, he just couldn't hide it. But he brought that up. Like how Spanish doesn't have stuff like that. Like all the stuff, like when you see something spelled, it'll. Oh, I gotta stop this if we are, right? But I don't know if it's on. Gatorama. Thing's been there for, I think they might have had it since. And this is the middle of nowhere. There's not like a town nearby or anything. It's like 15 miles to Moorhead. And that's not even a big town. Yeah, I don't know. Last time I did this, that happened. Then it came back on. And then all of a sudden, it looks like it's on right now. And then all of a sudden it said reconnecting. So I don't know if, it doesn't look like I have I don't know, who cares? It'll be what it is, man. It is what it is. I think the clock's running on there, yeah. So I don't know. But anyway, that's what's happened. I'm glad I got to show you Gatorama, if I did get to show you Gatorama. Just trying to share, man. But don't come. Don't come to Florida. We don't want you. I'm leaving Florida. It has been just the hottest. It's just been crazy. I guess I don't know. I lived in a house in Plant City that was, an hour from the beach, probably only 35 miles, but I lived under those big live oak trees, so I guess that I live in an RV now with zero shade, and it is just, right now, is not fun in there. It's all right. It's tolerable, but you kind of gotta, I have these little fans that I'll put on, kind of help. It's been hot. That's all I'm trying to say. Really hot. And just it's shade. Like you can you'll be out there and it's like, oh my God. And then you like where I worked, I used to just have some shade there too. And you go in the shade, it's like, oh, it's a beautiful day. And you step out, you're like, holy shit, need to move. But I am thinking of moving. I think my time in Florida has come to an end. I can't afford to live. I mean, you don't have to live on the water, but it's nice if you can go, like, even if you work, you go there after work, if you work during the day for a couple hours at the end of the day, and it's only 15 or 20 to no more than 30 minutes back to your house, you're like, okay, this is what you live in Florida for. But I'm like, it's a little over an hour, not that bad, if everything goes smooth, But that's enough that you're not going to go every day. There's a reason nobody lives out here. you know. Although they're changing that, you know, they build these gated communities and people just build these huge houses and live in AC with a pool, you know, and I guess you can have a bigger house out here with the pool than you could if you tried to buy something on the water in Sarasota or something, or Naples, or even Fort Myers. House, train track. Oh, I should have got a shot down the train tracks. Y'all would have enjoyed that, wouldn't you? So this is, we'll be coming towards, we're getting on the, Moorhaven is the town that we're coming up to. But see, you can have a spread like that with probably several acres, and you're gonna, you know, there's no Publix within a fucking hour probably, which is amazing to say in Florida. Because you go into Sarasota and you are trying to get away from Publix. Publix pisses me off, man. They got this store, and this is my pet peeve right now. Oh, are you kidding me? It's all blurry because of all this crap on the window. All the dead bugs is making it blurry. Because it focuses on that. That sucks. But there's like a brand new Publix where I live in Arcadia. But there's this new drink. It's called Vita Coco, and it's coconut milk. But they have like a frozen lemonade, an orange cream, strawberry and cream, peach and mango, and I think that's it. But anyway, they do the BOGO, so I stock up because it's like $3.89, and it's a good drink, but it's expensive. The Arcadia one has them all except the orange cream, which is the best one. And I have tried to ask them to order it, and they don't. And then I did a thing where I happened to be, I think I was in Venice, because that's where I generally go to the beach. And there was like I think I got my oil changed in Port Charlotte. So from Port Charlotte, I went up to Venice. I stopped at like 4 Publix, and none of them had it either. But then you go into Sarasota, in Lakewood Ranch, which is, I think Mick Jagger actually owned a house there at one time, because one of his young wives or girlfriends is from there. And there's a place called Babcock Ranch, which is on the way to Fort Myers from Arcadia. And those are kind of uppity, newer places. They have the orange cream. So there is some sort of thing going on. That's a KOA campground holiday. Never seen a lot of shit going on there. But they have the orange cream. So there is some sort of class or racial thing going on there. Publix would never admit it. Like, I actually gave my, talked to the stock boy at the Arcadia stock man, and he's like, oh, let me take your number and blah, 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 blah. And it's like you go, and if you try and go, I bought a whole bunch of them I happened to be in Sarasota, so I didn't buy them all. It was literally, if I had known I couldn't find more, I would have bought them all. But, like 20 of them. I think I bought 10. But, you can't get a straight, honest answer from the managers. Like, you go to customer service at my Publix in Arcadia, and I'll be like, hey, man, is there any reason you guys don't order the orange cream? It's like, are you sure there is one? Then you have to go through that whole thing where they think you're confused and, I can't read and I don't know what And then I can actually bring in, the orange cream that's just like these other 3 that you do have on your shelf, but it's the one flavor you don't seem to want to carry. And you'll never get a reason why. And they'll never I just want to know why they won't order it. That's all I want. That's all I want. Why will you not stock this flavor? And because they don't do it. Yeah, and that's what I did. I went down to, I I don't know if it's North Fort Myers. You go to Fort Myers from RTD, you go down this State Road 31, and you go by Babcock Ranch, and then you get to like North Fort Myers, and then Fort Myers. Babcock and the Sarasota ones all carry this. None of these other ones do, and they are a high percentage of Mexicans. And I only say that because they think Mexicans don't like orange cream or something? That's a serious question. If you're Mexican, is that like a cultural thing? You guys are like, no, we never, orange cream gets people killed in Mexico. I don't know, you know? Guess that is preposterous, but I can't help but wonder. Sugar cane right there. That is sugar cane. We're moving into this is the heart of the sugar industry right here in Florida. U.S. Sugar is in Clewiston, which we'll be getting to shortly. That's pretty quick. I don't know if it's because I'm talking. But see what you have here on the right there, that's a man-made canal. This is the heart of the Everglades, or it used to be. And but they make all these canals and for the farming and U.S. Sugar and everything. See that? And then you get all these signs, protected species and fish and wildlife. There's a lot of government shit around here, you know? See, I don't know if you can tell up there's a couple those white roofs you might just barely be able to see sporadically. Those are all like greenhouses. But there's a Love's gas station we're coming up to, which I like. I like Love's. I get the 10 cents off. So if I'm traveling on the road, I go Love's to Love's to Love's. Yeah, see, there's all farms out there and stuff. And whatever they do with sugar, it happens under those big roofs. And then they'll light it on fire. But I was in this Love's one time, and I pull up, and there was all these tricked out cannabis trucks because we got medical here. And it was all like something from Miami, but there was like they were all at the gas pumps, and they had all their ATVs on the back. And then there was like 4 sheriff trucks sitting over next, just next to the gas pumps. They were going out to harvest their shit somewhere here, and the sheriffs are with them. And that's, I don't know, does there need to be more to that? It took me a minute to put together, because at first I'm like, wow, you guys are, and it was all tricked out on the trucks, whatever cannabis company it was, and I'm like, wow, there's cops right here, dude. You guys are nuts. And then I was like, oh, the cops are probably with them. Sheriffs, not a little different. See, the sheriffs in Florida are kind of a little more sane and reasonable sort of law enforcement, whereas the police, like Tampa police, are basically fucking Nazis. They're stormtroopers. They're rotten, fucking despicable human beings. They're not even human. And I'll stand by that assessment. You don't like that, go fuck yourself. And I'm not anti-cop, but I'm petrified of them. Never had problems with them. But I don't trust them, especially city police are the worst. They're just corrupt. Simple as that. They're thugs. I remember I used to Uber in Tampa. 3.5 years, 13,000 rides. Over 13,000 rides. But I remember there's an area down there, which I thankfully can't even remember, but it's all the college kids, and there's like 4 or 5 bars, and it just gets nuts, fights, fucking puking. And it's like the Uber nightmare, but it's what Uber's for. You're going to be going there. But I just remember one time this big tatted out cop chatting up some blonde, and he walks right in front of me, because you're only going 5 miles an hour, but didn't like look or give me a friendly like hey or nothing, just walked right in front of me like fuck you, I'm a cop and what are you gonna do about it? And I was like, well, if I could, I'd shoot you or run you over, and I would have, and I'd still like to. I don't like bullies. I don't like gangs either. Which leads to bullying, because you got like you're one guy, you walk into a bar, you don't realize it, and there's a bunch of bikers in there, and they'll just bullshit. Yeah, let's not even get into that. Don't have much respect for the whole biker gang shit. But I do understand the appeal, man. If you're a poor person, like in LA with the Hispanics or Latinos or whatever, why wouldn't you? A lot easier than trying to be the manager at Home Depot, and so I understand the appeal. Look at this. All the people just trying to get in so they can get their piece and screw the rest of us. That's all that is. You think anything else, you think anybody goes into politics for noble reasons, you're a naive fool. Now, obviously, Democrats are 20,000 times worse than Republicans, but the Republicans are bad. So that's where we're starting. I agree, they all suck. But if you don't understand Democrats are 5,000 times worse than Republicans, you're just willfully ignorant. That's all. I mean, any sensible black person realizes that they do not care about you. So the fact that black people vote as a block for Democrats, for the most part, is just so... It doesn't help your cause to prove that you're not fucking idiots. So let me leave it at that. And I say that respectfully, because you're being taken advantage of, Smarten up, man. And I'm no libertarian. I'm just me. I mean, it'd take a lot to get me to vote for a Democrat at this point, but I voted for John Kerry and Al Gore. People are like, Kerry just went to Vietnam. Well, so what? The bullets were still being fired at him, dude. So whether he did it for the future political advantage, he still did it. But yeah, he's a total fucking cretin, but I guess when you see the chance, see, now this is pretty nice. This is all retiree communities, and that's fucking very appealing looking, to be honest with you. That's a major canal right there, obviously. And that was Moorhaven we just went through. But that's it, man. I gotta be honest with you, I've thought about it. Like running for like some low level something in an Arcadia or something. Just so, yeah. Well, no, I'm a little too self-righteous. Like I probably wouldn't last, because I'd piss somebody off pretty quick. I do have trouble once I get a little aggravated, and especially dealing with like white fucking liberal women and shit. It's hard to hold back. It's like, they are just the scourge of this earth, man. And they think they're so smart and all, and they know. Most of them, the ones who kind of lead the charge, they know that the whole game is, yeah, you get in charge and you go for all these things that make you feel like you're doing good, but you also get to choose to keep it away from you. You know what I'm saying? You get on the councils and then you're like, oh, hey, we need a drug fucking thing or whatever it is. Anything for poor people or, lazy fucking poor people. We get to decide where it goes. And I live on this side of town. It's going on that other side of town. That's the game, folks. That's the game. And you get a little cut from whoever's the developer to allow them to just develop it. That's what's going on. And if you don't understand that, very many, I don't know what it's like right now, but historically, most Republicans have come out of having created successful businesses. And that's why they're so pissed and get into politics, because of all the regulations developed by the Democrats who come out of college with no real world experience or money and go into politics to control everything and make their money. And that's the main difference right there. I got no more use for any of the Republicans, but the Democrats are more corrupt and they have no common sense or real world experience. You don't understand that. You're just willfully ignorant, man. And I won't take you seriously or respect you, period. Don't have to. That's my choice. And experience supports my take on that. You know, how many of you watch YouTube? How many of you watch YouTube? But how many of those channels are there with black men in their, you know, what, I don't know, 20 to 50 or whatever, who are just sane, you know, MAGA guys just because they've taken the time to observe what's really going on, you know? You know, I watch a lot of that shit. Jesse Peterson, I think there's like, what was it, Anton Daniels, the black conservative or something like that, you know? There's a lot of smart, just common sense, just, that's all it is, folks. It ain't about fucking any of that. I agree. It's not about, for me, I do have a low opinion of the culture that produces a lot of this crap, and the black women, which are pretty insufferable as well. What's up with the women? Just insufferable. White, black. And they really are at heart a lot meaner than men. We all know that. But it's just a shame. But yeah, but I was getting back to, like, anybody I ever see or encounter or have to engage with, I don't have any thought of the race, you know? I mean, you might have a little attitude about something if you see some idiot with, like, wearing a tracksuit with a fucking medallion hanging around and a flat-brimmed hat and his sneakers open. But he still could be a cool, down-to-earth person, but I do find the clown outfits a little silly. But, it's more an asshole or non-asshole than it is about any race. I mean, clearly there's just, you know, a lot of times they have an attitude towards us, so, before I say anything either, so. But I Ubered. I paid my dues, man, many times, man, and proved what I'm saying right now. Hello, you're the only person here. It was just 0 before you came. Stay, please stay. I'm just kidding. I mean, stay, but I don't want to. No, I guess, you know, I'd be like, I don't care if you do. I kind of don't, you know what I mean? I hope you do, but there's nothing I'm going to do other than what I'm doing to make you stay. This is what I do. Just kind of talk, and I'm driving, first of all, and second of all. Anticipation. Why is that Escalade? Staying in the right lane. I'll tell you why. You don't want to hear it, though. Here we go. Here's the sign. West Palm Beach, 73 miles, 99 miles to Miami. God, 73 miles. That's where I'm going, West Palm. See Jack Johnson. I got tickets to see him in Tampa tomorrow, too. So what happened when the tickets went on sale? I guess I'm closer and just more familiar with the Tampa, so I bought that one. Then I'm like, fuck, why didn't I go to West Palm? Because that's kind of where I think Kelly Slater's from. Or I think he's Cocoa Beach. But I just started thinking maybe Jack will have Kelly Slater show up. And not that I am like any big fan of Kelly Slater, but just the whole general thing of having like Kelly Slater there, the famous surfer, and bringing him up on stage, it would just create more of a spectacle that would be unique for it. So But anyway, so I got tickets tomorrow. I doubt the set list will change anymore. I might even try and sell it tonight. But either way, we'll suck it up, whatever. It's the only two concerts I'm going to all summer. And the Jack Johnson, half of it's the vibe, you know? You just, it's a vibe I like. Dead Alligator, you see that? It was all starting to puff up. I didn't see it till too late. I would have tried to get you a better view. See that? Satellite dish out there. Skydive, Spaceland. They got the thing where you can do the skydiving in the building thing. So we're coming up to Clewiston, which the sign says the sweetest town in America because it is the home of U.S. sugar. Adventure ahead, Everglades Swamp Tours. Swamp. It's making me wait. Oh, here we go. Oh, you're fucking... I love cruise control. But obviously when you start getting around more people, you just run into less. You can't just throw on the cruise control. It's one nice thing about Central Florida. You kind of... Look at all this sugar cane. Both sides of the road? This will unplug here. Well, I don't know. Having trouble with my battery. I don't know if I have viruses all over my phone, but I constantly am running out. I mean, I'm watching a lot of my phone, too much from my phone lately, but just constantly running out of fucking power. And it's constantly hitting the overheat, too. I think it's a iPhone 15 Pro S, you know, like I get the top one, you know, and this is the worst fucking phone, dude. I've hated it since I got it. I had an 8S for like a long time, and that thing just was right in the zone. Didn't do anything I didn't want it to. Pretty much responded when I wanted to. This thing, I'll be wanting it to do something, it won't respond, and then I just brush the fucking screen and 5 things happen that I don't even want to happen. It's funny because I watched one of those videos on YouTube this morning about things to turn off to save your battery life, and I turned off a bunch of like the app refresh in the background and location services. I think it may have helped a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. Today it just happened this morning. The real test will be when I start going and trying to film at the concert. Probably won't do too much. It sucks though. He has some cool shit opening on this tour. This is the first show of the second leg of the tour. And he's got like Ben Harper opening some shows, G Love, Hermanos Gutierrez, who I saw down at the Miami band shell. They just play like instrumental, atmospheric instrumental. It's like kind of like Ennio Morricone sort of cool shit. But then, and I get Lake Street Dive, and who I know nothing about, but I went and checked. You know, I Googled it or whatever, YouTube, and just from the look of them, I'm like, you know, the drummer's some pudgy fat guy, white fat guy with a beard. There's like the black singer, and I'm not into the people who strangle the shit out of every fucking word they sing. You know, like that Jennifer Hudson shit. Whatever, if that's your thing, more power to you. I don't have to like it, and I don't. And I like it with reason. I do not like that strangling the fuck out of every fucking word they sing and shit. I don't need that. I don't like that. See all these canals through here? It's all drained out for the sugar. Sugar. Lord, good Lord. I'll tell you, my fucking thumb hurts. My left thumb, my cording thumb on my guitar, and I think it might be from that. And it's getting worse. Because I don't remember any individual incident where I kind of hurt my thumb, and now it's just kind of, I keep kind of, stretching it somehow stupidly. Like going like that and catching my thumb on the steering wheel and fucking but it fucking hurts. It hurts right now. Oh, I should have I had some of that Vita Coco frozen lemonade. I wish I had thrown some. I think they're on sale at Publix, but it's a buy two get one free, as opposed to But I bet you in West Palm, this area I'm going to where the concert's at, the road we come in on, I think it's like West Palm Beach Boulevard. So it's a big road. It goes right past the airport. See, City of Clewiston, and you can't see it, but it says America's Sweetest Town on the brick down there. But I'm curious to see if they have the orange cream. If they do, even at the 2-for-1, I'll buy. It's like over in Arcadia there, $3.89 a little carton thing. I don't know how much it is. And I'm curious because they do have different prices. It might only be like a 10-cent difference, but that's what it is. Like you go to Sarasota and they're 10 cents more, I think. I think they're $3.99. But look at this brand new friggin' hotel, dude. This Holiday Inn Express is pretty new. I used to, when I first started doing the Walmarts back in 2000, I think it was like 2010. But my folks lived in Bonita Springs over here near Naples, and I did the one in West Palm Beach. And I'd travel this way. This is how I would go there. On the weekends I'd come home and stuff. So I used to travel through here. None of this stuff was here. Well, I mean, those hotels, this was all here. The Walmart was here. But they got a lot of newer stuff that is newer. It's weird. Oh Christ, what's going on here, dude? I hate fucking dumb people. Why aren't we going past? I just can't understand why we're not going past the dump truck. We're in this left lane, and I got this shithead in the Jeep who's not going to drive past it takes trucks longer to get up to speed, so you're usually able to go by them without like doing anything crazy. Just get past the truck. And I get some douchebag from Michigan, of course, one of those fucking cuck states up in the Midwest, and fucking, it's like, let's just get past the dump truck, asshole, Pretty fucking basic, fucking any intelligent human being would want to do. Nope. Oh, God. And now I'm trapped. So now we're going to be at a red light. We're right next to a semi. The light will turn green, and this guy will not pull away from the truck. You know what I mean? And I want to get out, and I should be able to slap him. See, right here. We're going to go next to the truck. Because this person's stupid. Let's see what the stupid person looks like. And that's it, right there. Exactly what you would think it is. Just loser. Pure Michigan. Fuck you. Michigan, you suck. Wisconsin, you suck more. In Minnesota, you suck most. In Illinois, you suck. Y'all gotta go. We'll trade you for Alberta and Saskatchewan. What happened here? See, these guys are nuts out here. This is all like Cubans who drive these trucks. And let me tell you, dude, that tells you how corrupt the police are, because wherever they are, they're like 20, 25 miles over the speed limit all the time. As in, whoever owns those trucking companies has a clear arrangement with the police forces to just do as they please. Cubans are horrible. I've worked with too many down here, man. Just another group that hates the white people and just wants to take advantage of what we offer and have created, and then just has no respect for us at all. Yeah, you don't like what I'm saying? Go fuck yourself, because I have the experience to back it up. Now, if you're a hot-looking girl with big tits, I bet you they're good to you. So, shut up, you know? Even if you're an ugly girl, they're probably good to you. So, you know, our experience will be different. So that was Clewiston, Florida. We're on 27 south and 80 east. Now, if you stay on 80, that brings you back into Fort Myers. So let's take Okeechobee right there on the other side of that. That's what you call a dyke, which is a woman in comfortable shoes. And if you know where that's from, congratulations, you're hipper than you know. Don't go over there. Don't go over there. Same movie. So you don't see no. That sucks. Suck, man. They just suck. They're so full of shit. Entering Palm Beach County. Some beautiful, those are royal palms, that type. One of the last natural stretches of royal palm is in Fakahatchee Strand, which is essentially part of the Everglades. If you go down Old 41, and if you go in there, there's a little park there. You can drive through there, and it's pretty cool, dirt road and stuff. But where they have their visitor center, there's a little boardwalk you can walk, and there's an eagle's nest that is like the size of, it's huge. Like, it's like a pool. It's that big up in a tree. It's fucking unbelievable. Haven't been there in a while, but I used to drive. I've driven through there a couple times. It's off-road. You know, 2-track. And then you can get out of your car and then go into, you can walk out into the woods. Did that a couple times, and I did it in the dry season. And what you have like, you'll come across like basically a mud puddle, like with just like a teeny bit of water left in it, and there'll be like one alligator in there, you know, waiting for the rainy season. You know, you go there in like February, March, where all the water's almost gone, just waiting for the rainy season to come. And there'll be like every alligator. There's probably big fights to get, you know, because it's usually a pretty big alligator that is in there, and he's obviously had to fight for that or something. That's where you find the ghost orchids, where that's a beautiful orchid that's pretty rare, and when people find one, they don't even, you know, it's like a guarded secret where they are, because then of course you get assholes who go out there and take it. So yeah, if you're watching this and you don't understand that humans are absolutely reprehensible beings, myself included, all of us, we're the worst thing that ever happened to the cosmos. That means nothing, essentially. I'm not like anti-human. I just am of the opinion that were pretty horrible beings, and that's why when I hear about the terrorist shit and stuff, I'm like, you know what? There's no innocence. I mean, I'm not for any of that, but getting broken up about it or being like innocent children, horse shit. There's no innocent children. They're raised by fucking people who are assholes to be assholes. So I feel that way. But I swear to God, I'm not cynical. I am cynical, but I'm not. It doesn't like make me unoptimistic about just getting up and going outside every day. You know, it's kind of a very I don't know, a dichotomy. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I consider myself an optimistic cynic. I'm well aware of how the world is, but I still enjoy it. Even enjoy interacting with people, but I just find almost like by the second people get more uninteresting as you're around them, you know? That's why brief encounters are just more, or just seem to be better. Queso, everything's in Spanish. No offense, man, but you left wherever to come here for why? You know, like to think that if you have a majority Muslim but Mexican community and that gangs aren't going to start to become prevalent. I mean, that's how their culture still works in response, you know? I mean, say what you want about white people, but we don't do that. We don't, you know? I mean, sure, there's probably examples, but, you know, we're pretty much every man for himself, you know? And it seems to work a little better. And I'm going to defend it. You don't like that? Fuck you. Just like you defend your race or whatever, you know? I'm sick of being vilified, but for shit that is just bullshit for the most part. So, I'm not one of those people who's going to take it. John Stretch Park. I've stopped here many a times because it is just very well placed on the trip. And they got a pond here, and the people feed all the alligators. So if you pull up to one of these picnic tables that you'll see, the alligators will beeline right to you because they get fed, you know, right next to the sign that says, "Do not feed the wildlife." People can't resist, and they all think they're just good people, and it's like, you can't resist just harming these birds and stuff. Like at Disney World, they want to feed all the birds, and there'll be signs that say, "Do not feed the birds, please." Oh, we're just feeding the birds, my kid. Yeah. Do you realize how many thousands of you are there every week doing that and just destroying these animals? But I guess, I don't know, whatever. White people. I call them DOPs now. I've coined that phrase. Dumbass white people. Of which I am not one. Like this here. Just, yeah, why wouldn't you just stop there? Oh yeah, you can guarantee 100% I'm gonna flip that guy off when I drive out of here. As sure as the sun is in the sky right now, that guy's gonna get a middle finger. I'm truth, man. That's what I do. I'm a troll when I go on comment. And I don't I don't make shit up, but when people are saying stupid shit, I go right at them. I feel okay doing it too. I could take you up there. Maybe I will take you up to Lake Okeechobee here. We'll go up to the top of the dike here. Don't go over there. That's from Good Morning Vietnam. Robin Williams. He's like a dyke. It's a woman wearing comfortable shoes. He's saying, don't go over there. No loitering in public restrooms. This thing's open all night though. I'll probably be stopping here at fucking on the way back. Ooh, it's nice in there. It's cooler. Look at that. Well, look at that, huh? Woo. This shit right here. This is the shit. Dude, my fucking thumb. Oh, that's so good. Most refreshing drink ever. I don't buy it till it goes on sale. I think one of those is $5.99, and maybe you'll get like 2 for $9. But I'll buy like 30 of them because it seems to be like a 5 weeks part. So I'll literally have like, you know, I really like it. So I want to have it for a month, you know? So I'll fucking buy it. Like that's like, I don't know if I'm a hoarder because I drink it and get rid of it, but it's so good. I cannot express, like when you're hot or it's hot out and you drink that, for me, you can like literally, it feels like, you know, like if you're looking at a glass get filled up, that's what it feels like going in my body. Like it's just filling it up. And oh, no one violators. What is this? Oh, I can't go up here. Damn it. I thought there was a place. Oh, over there. All right, we'll go over there. I did think I could go here. How can I get there? Oh, I gotta do all sorts of shit here. We'll still do it though. I got time. I haven't been up there in a while either, so we will do that. I'll do that for you and me. Yeah, I got one of many of my flaws. There ain't a whole lot going on here. But this guy parked there like that just bothers me. Not gonna lie. It's like, why don't you just get off the road? I think these are just, I don't know if they're active pumps or if they're here as displays, but those are the pumps that pump water out of Okeechobee, I guess. Look at that. They do it right here in Florida. They don't fuck around. That thing will there'll be people here on the weekends, especially, you know. They use this stuff. That is one thing I like to see with some of the immigrant communities, you know. They do a lot of I guess, you know, the Mexicans and stuff, that they'll have like 30 people out here just doing good stuff, man. I just don't like the you come here and you're still waving your Mexican flag. Fuck you, man. You came to America, dude. If you want to embrace it, we will embrace you. As simple as that. I mean, I'm Irish, part Irish and half English, half Irish. And, you know, I'll have some Irish themed shirts and stuff, but I ain't ever waving no fucking Irish flag or Shit like that, man. It's red, white, and blue, dude, and we welcome you if you want to do that. If not, you're gonna get shit from an asshole like me, and it's as simple as that. And fuck you. There's no argument there. That's you want to wave your Mexican flag here, I'm gonna fucking call you an asshole and flip you. Look at this. Look at this fucking douchebag, dude. Just flying down here, man. No, you go, man. Look at this asshole. Look at that, dude. And there you go. California license plate. But did you see the furrowed brow? That's like a Cuban guy. He's all fucking pissed off. He's like, fuck you. These people are nuts, dude. These people are bad people. You know? Look at that. You know? Just an asshole. Sorry, just an asshole. Just driving like 80 miles an hour through the fucking park. These people are dirtbags, man. And look at this. These three, you couldn't just see that and wait till after that. I mean, he made it fine, but you know what I'm saying? Just little stupid shit like that. I'm just like this here. I could pull out in front of them. I can see behind that second truck there ain't a fucking thing within sight. So I'm just gonna wait. Yeah, it does make me a little better. You know? It does make me a little better, fucking more considerate human being. If you don't understand that, you're part of the problem. You know, nobody gives a shit about anything but themselves. And that's why I think humans are horrible. And I try to be better one, you know? And I do. My actions are pretty good. I'm one of those people who's going to say anything and you're going to be like, what an asshole. But not really. It's just that I'm going to say it. That's all. Because somebody has to say it. And I see that nobody will say it, so I say it. I call it like it is, man. People don't like to hear that. People don't like to be called out on their bullshit, obviously. And when I find that I'm being a bullshitter, I fucking try and correct it. You know? So it's a bit self-righteous, but it's also I try to just put it in practice. Yeah, I'm being a fucking idiot or an ignorant asshole, you know? Nothing wrong with trying to do that, man. Be that way. And when I see people just not caring and not making any effort to have any consideration for where they're at or the people there, I am going to take any little chance I get to fucking let you know that I ain't happy with what you're doing. I'm going to do it. Like that. Did you see that? I wasn't even close to that guy. He's leaning on his truck and he does some big exaggerated jump like I was scraping against his truck or something. It's just fucking ridiculous. Unbelievable. Yeah, that just... And it's so predictable and fucking consistent like that, man. People are just ridiculous. So that's looking south. That seems crazy. So here's the canal, and out there you can see there's Lake Okeechobee. It's about as good a view as you can get right there from here. I can't believe there's not a single car out. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. This is for you. I'm doing this for you. There's nobody out there. Nobody even watching. And if there is, I can't really see that, so I apologize. You're not nobody. Everybody is somebody. When a woman has a child and before that child is born, he is somebody. Remember that, dirtbag? Pretty good. We'll just pull down here because we can. I think. I think it's okay. Everybody is somebody. Nobody is nobody. Alligator right there. You can see it in the water right there. Pretty tough to see, but then you got a little egret right there. There's a lot of shit going on in there. No doubt. Ah! Everybody is somebody. Nobody is nobody. Taj Mahal tune. He didn't write it. I play it. I haven't played it in a while. It's got that line about, though, when a woman has a child and before that child is born is somebody. People don't like that. I remember I used to make videos of just one song and put it up on my other channel is The Freaking Howley. I put up music on that. I just uploaded a set from last Saturday up there. Yesterday or today it finished. But, you know, I don't get a shitload of views. If I get 40 views, I'm lucky. But that one I had like the most, well, usually it's 100% positive, you know, if I get 2 or 3 thumbs up. That one actually was like 33% positive. People like gave me a thumbs down probably just because of that line. Because people are assholes. You fucking, you get an abortion, you're a fucking murderer, man. Deal with it. If you're willing to deal with that, I'm not going to stop you, but you're a murderer. Now, I agree if there's issues of, yeah, I don't think a woman should have to carry a fucking baby if she got raped by some fucking dirtbag. But if it's, you know, that's about it. But it's not a cause for me, so I don't really want to dwell on that, but you know where I stand. And I also know that many of us, when we're 20, feel differently than we do when we're 50, so. But that being said, you're going to be 50 after you're 20, and you're going to realize that, yeah, that's death. That's murder. You don't have the right to make that decision, man, once that miracle of life starts to create. I never really said that last part as just because it kind of, you know, I really have become where I'd even say what I've just said probably in the last 5 or 6, 10 years at most. Probably wouldn't even, say anything about it for many years. But now I feel that way, and I just the way the people who are for it are so evil and selfish and just nasty that it makes you want to speak out against it, Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Looks nice though, hot day like this, you're like, fuck, cannonball. And the alligator's going lunch. Yeah, how could you not want to jump off that fucking bridge? I'd probably do it too if I were with a high school friend once. It'd be like the dare that you got to do, fucking jump in and swim to the fucking edge as quickly as possible. Because you gotta, it's dangerous. Alligators do not care, but you do have in your head, especially as a teenager, that I'm big enough and made a big enough splash, it's going to scare shit away. At least enough for me to get out one time. Probably not. You don't want to fuck with alligators, man. Although you see those guys jump in there and fucking swim right up to them, like the people who do that for a living or for YouTube. But I guess once you kind of know what you're doing. But you got to keep in mind, even if you can manhandle a 5 or 6 foot alligator, if you're a really strong man, they got claws. So you're going to have to deal with that shit, man. You're going to have to fucking, you may still get him, but he may fucking put a gash in your fucking arm or something. I don't know what goes on there. As I talk it out. I mean, fuck, think about your cat. If you have a cat, if he ain't happy with something you're doing, you get the scratch with the dark red blood coming out, What time we got? Charging. All right, I need 3:25. 4 hours to go an hour. But they got a Jamba Juice over in West Palmer. They used to. We'll see. They've gone downhill, but it's still something I don't. We got Planet Smoothie over on the West Coast throughout Florida. But no Jambas. Jamba has a special place in my heart because I got turned onto it when I was working in Hawaii with my buddy, or ex-buddy, old buddy. We didn't really have a falling out or anything, but we kind of did. He's a Wisconsinite and he's a scumbag. Now, if he were to call me, I'd be like, hey, what's up, man? But I ain't calling him, and he ain't calling me. That's about the size of that. That's very well put size of that. Neither of us is calling each other. But we were pretty close friends for a while, it felt like. Or I thought, that's kind of my bone of contention. I thought we were pretty close friends. And then it just seemed like he didn't agree, or it seems like he's the type of guy who basically, if he's gotten what he can get from you, or you can't do anything for him, all of a sudden you just find that, hey, I haven't heard from you in like a couple months. It's like, yeah, I met this guy owns a restaurant, Oh yeah, I guess I can see what you like about it, but I didn't think I had to supply something to you to be your friend. Whatever. Live and learn. Look at that, it's pretty cool, huh? It's like an island. The island of Dr. Moreau. But that shit is cool. You get in there, it's nice and shady, and Fucking, you got the big garages that are nice and airy. The big ass fan, which is a brand name. Ding, 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 ding. God, I want to listen to music, but I can't stream. It's so fucking retarded, man. Copyrights. I mean, there's clearly a need for copyrights, but for what I'm doing, a guy with like maybe 1 or 2 viewers at a time to not be able to just have music going in the background, that's just stupid. And if you're as cool as me, it's only going to help the guy. Am I right? So I don't know about you, but I think that may have been the coolest interlude that'll occur on YouTube today. Just a view of the south end of Lake Okeechobee. Who's bringing you that? A little close-up of an alligator would have really topped it off nicely, but you did see an alligator, even if you didn't see it. It is in there. So this will be interesting. I haven't taken where we're going to take a left up at the light up here to finish the trip, because the last 4 or 5, 6 times I've come through here, I've just continued on going to Lauderdale or Miami. But this is where you got it'll be interesting. I mean, we're talking rundown. You know, people just sitting outside, groups of people. South Bay. Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding. Yep, I'm not gonna do that. And this guy's gonna just fucking come fucking barging out here, dude. Just assholes everywhere, man. Of course, window, and I'll come up to the stoplight. I'll put my finger right in the fucking window. None of them ever says, "Oh yeah." They're all fucking pussies. What, man? The schools in Florida ain't no joke. They will run you over. I get a kick out of it. Nothing like where I grew up in Massachusetts. You know, it was all fucking old fat ladies driving the bus and take you fucking get home from school. But yeah, I'm going 55 now. 2 sheriffs. Their school bus just went blasting. U.S. sugar right there. Fucking awesome. And you don't have to. South. Ding ding ding. 385 is $3.99 everywhere before here. I didn't even look at the price at the Loves. I filled up at the Walmart yesterday, $3.69 in Arcadia. Everywhere else had gone up to $3.99 yesterday. And they were still at $3.69 this morning. Usually if everybody's like Monday morning, they all go back up to $3.99. The Walmart will still be $3.69, maybe till that night or till this morning, but it was still $3.69. Ain't taking a right. I have no tolerance for that shit. Just stupidity. It's not being safe. It's actually causing problems because the people behind you going, why aren't you going? Oh, I got to go around this guy? Then there's an accident. That's living. This is the fucking school bus. So the speed limit's 45. I am going about 40. He gave me a look too. I love it. I do love it. No blinker. So now I'm going 45 and he's just pulling away. Send your kids to public school, people. They'll be safe there. You gotta be nuts to have a fucking kid in this world right now. Sad. It's all sugarcane. Don Sugarcane Harris. Ding 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 ding. We'll take you up to and we'll start the road that turns into 80, continues into, I think it might be Okeechobee Boulevard or something. Runs right out to the fucking Atlantic. Belle Glade. This is Belle Glade. That was South Bay we just went through, and this is Belle Glade. I think Edgerrin James was from here. I say that for you. I could care less. And it's funny because I think my brother is lives down in Naples, but he's you know, he's one of those people. Hey, whatever, but you know, like celebrities matter and football players and baseball players. It's just kind of funny, sad, funny. I've just felt that, you know, there's things going on right in your neighborhood or your community. Things you're concerned about, some famous actor having a disease or something that's going on right in the community. You don't give a fuck, and I don't either. I don't care about either of them. You know, I don't care about the person in my community or the person. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying I try to contain my feelings for people close to me, you know, which I'm at the point there are none of them. That ain't no lie. I got 5 siblings and I don't consider myself close to any of them. And that's all through they don't like, probably if you're listening to this, whatever you think of what I'm saying, whether it's supposed to be mainly tongue in cheek, but all based on reality of the reality. And they just, not many people can do it. You know, I just sense on the real world that's really happening. And I don't pull any punches. because that's why we're in this situation we're in. I don't think anybody likes where we're at right now, and it's because nobody wants to say that. That needs to be said to people, communities. You know, if people had put their foot down and made people accountable and demanded people be considerate, we wouldn't be in the situation we're in as a country. This town wouldn't be like this. You know, it's as simple as that, man. And it is as simple as that. The irresponsible assholes outnumber the fucking responsible people, and that's where we're at. You know, shit ain't going great for me, man, but I know it's nobody's fault but my own, you know? Hasn't changed much, man. Been a long time since I've driven through here. I think I did come through here. No, I actually took a right up here. Or stayed straight. What would be straight on this road, but the road I'm going to take a right onto, I think I came from West Palm one time, but I took a right and went up around into the town of Okeechobee, around the northern part of Lake Okeechobee, which is where the town of Okeechobee is. It's funny, there's a brand new Popeyes there that was kicking it. They had a brand new Popeyes, like the closest restaurant to me where I live in Arcadia, right in front of the Walmart, brand new. And I've lived here just August 1st was the year. It closed down in the time since I've been here. And I ate there. That was the one place I would have most likely ate at the most. They closed it down. Although if you look, I've been seeing a lot of videos on YouTube about, you know, the food and the 7 chicken sandwiches that don't contain any chicken stuff, and Popeyes is high on the list as being crappy ingredients and food, which surprised me because they kind of, once they came into the popular jargon and people would, like my brother was always like swearing by them, you know, way back when it was like only in Maryland and stuff. That's where he lived for a while. Cuban Cafe. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Do not want to be there at dark, I bet. Oh, the irony. Peking Place. Oh, I will unplug that for now. I love it. Seventh-day Adventist Church. Those guys are hardcore. They do some stuff. I'm not exactly sure, but they're one of the more hardcore Christian denominations, is it? Belglade Wholesale. Hook, Fish and Chicken. Quest Diagnostics. Yeah, any job you're going to get in this town is going to require a drug test. CVS, that's new. Peter Santinello, I don't know if you're familiar. He has a YouTube channel, kind of big time, you know, and I haven't watched him in a while because he went a little off the plantation, in my opinion. Just, it seemed to me that he was being met with success, and then he started to, there was a clearly, like, he seemed to be co-opted and somewhat captured by his success, you know, where there was a separation where he was just a guy with a camera filming shit. It became, you know, a separation between him and the people, so to speak. In my opinion. He did one in Miami that really pissed me off, and it just was like, It was like some Eastern European realtor lady contacted him and then took him around all these really rich ass places, you know, out in Miami there, like the exclusive areas, and it was just off-putting, the way, you know, and it just seemed all manipulative, and he seemed to really like it. And I just was like, this guy's no longer legit. But he still puts out shit. He did some great ones. He did one in this town where he went and like the police were like, you shouldn't be doing that. Don't get out of your car here type thing, you know, white guy. And right next to like a street over from where we were. And but he did some good ones up in Redwood country up there and around Mount Shasta and up in the Redwoods and shit. And I mean, he's been all over the country and the world, you know. He did some he actually lived his wife's Ukrainian. And I suspect she's somewhat of a bad influence with respect to wanting to live a lifestyle sort of thing, you know what I'm saying? Where maybe there's pressure on him to capitalize and, you know, just all speculative on my part, but probably not incorrect. But anyway, I'd still recommend checking it out and drawing your own conclusions. How about that? Yeah, I think I even bought a t-shirt from... That's what I'll do. Like, if there's channels like that, you know, I will eventually, if I watch you enough, I'll buy a t-shirt or a hat or something just to support you. There's a couple I've done that with, which I no longer like. There's this British couple, Pars, P-A-W-E-R-S, as in dog. They had these two cute little dogs. One of them actually died, unfortunately. But they're total woke. They're like all in on the... not necessarily that they're all in, but they're totally not. Yeah, they let it all happen to them, the woke shit, you know, and being British and stuff, and they just go with it, and I just can't respect that. I mean, even if you're gonna go with it to live your life because you have to, and wherever you're at, you don't have to get on there. You can still get on there and call it out. You know, like I love Disney World. I don't anymore, and what it's become. I did still enjoy going there, and I enjoyed being there, but I would still be kind of bitching about shit while I was there. And part of that was because a lot of the streamers I watch nothing month, and they'll never call that out. And I'm like, well, that's their... Although in their defense, I will say, I generally wouldn't really buy any food there, but one of the last times I went to the Astro Orbiter, you know, in space, Tomorrowland, under the thing that goes around and round. You can buy food, and I got a hot dog, and I wasn't expecting much, but it was legitimately like a huge, wasn't like a foot long, it was probably like 8 or 10 inches long, you know, right where you want it. And it was like beef hot dog. It was good. And I was surprised. I just didn't expect them. So maybe they've tried to change the quality of what they're serving a little bit. They charge enough. Osprey up there. You see that? See, look at that. They're getting ready to harvest, no doubt. And nothing for miles and miles but friggin'. And the nice thing, you know, you can see the clouds build up. Like sometimes, so many times I'd be driving this direction. That's south over here. It would just be like purplish gray, you know, dark for rain clouds, lightning bolts, just awesome, you know? All the shit blowing, and it's just pretty cool. These are all new, all these lights. I'm curious why they've done that. I mean, what the fuck do you need lights out here? That many lights out here. Pretty much straight away, and at night it's just, yeah, whatever, another Osprey. just slap on the old cruise control. Oh, I've got some dry mouth. I ain't high. I got no weed. That's why I'm excited to go up to Massachusetts. Just fucking smoke my brains out for a week. And out of 6 kids, I'm the only fucking pothead. And they're such douchebags. They're all fucking alcoholics. But they'll legitimately give me shit about smoking pot. And it's just fucking comical. They're just the biggest hypocrites. But I'm at a place in life where I'm not even going to have a retort to any of it. Just a smile and whatever. I have no contact with them. I sent out a couple texts this week. It was some of the Barstool Pizza Dave Portnoy just doing, and just funny ones where people come out and they're just a couple, and not one single response from any of them. Like, oh, that's funny, or I've been there, or oh, that's... And you would just think you're sending out a text to 5 siblings that one of them would see that nobody's responded and just say something to be like, because we all like to get a response, I think. Nope, I get nothing. You know, not nobody's just like, yeah, let's just be like, oh, cool, or a thumbs up, or a ha-ha. Nothing. People are assholes. 5 siblings. And none of them take the time to just make you feel like you're fucking actually present on the planet. Yeah, it's a sore spot for me, definitely. You know? But as you can maybe tell from my tone of voice, it's a sore spot that is past the point of really, you know, it's not going to like put me in a bad mood for the next 3 hours after I just talked about it. It's just like, yeah, they're just shitty people. You know, my 2 sisters are good to me, but neither of them, you know, like one of my sisters who supposedly were the closest, and I used to agree with that, but if I call her up, the chances of her answering the phone or calling me back are pretty slim. She actually did the last time I called, which surprised me. And I told her that. I'm like, I can't believe you answered. And I've told all of them that too. I've been like, I don't call you guys because you do not answer and you don't call back. But I also know they all have kids and families and lives. So I'm like, I know you guys are no doubt busier than I am. So whenever you call me, I will answer, or I'll call you right back if I missed it. And I do that. So I've tried to make it clear that I don't call you guys because you never answer, but I'm not mad or nothing. I just, anytime you want to call me, I'm there and I'll answer. You know, I've tried to make it clear what's going on and that I understand they're busy and they might not be thinking about me like I think about them because I am by myself most of the time, you know? So I feel an understanding about the dynamics, so I don't, but it still hurts, I guess. It's shitty, you know? Because, I mean, you know, people in your family, if they call you with the phones we have, it usually says the name. So to think that they see my name and just like, yeah, I'm good. That can't help but think that's what goes on. I gotta be honest with you, and when I do, sometimes I do get a call from like one of my brothers, and I'm like, oh God, what does he want? But I answer. And I also answer enthusiastically for the most part, you know? What's up, Jim? So get this. So my brother Jim doesn't talk to me anymore. He doesn't like, you know, I'm all pro-Trump and his wife's a fucking libtard and he gets all offended if I say anything about black people or anything. And to the point where he no longer talks to me. He will not call me. He doesn't take my calls. He won't respond to any texts ever. And so he sends out a text, though, last week of him. He works for the New York Football Giants. And he's a vice president. He's very successful, had a great career, you know? And I mean, it's a great thing, the whole thing of it. My father loved football, grew up the Giants and stuff, and so it was all really great. But anyway, he sends me this text of, like, I guess Instagram. There was a series on the Giants training camp on Instagram, and he sent me the episode that was operations, which he does. You know, he goes out and books like they were on the road somewhere for 2 weeks, like probably practicing against another team. I don't follow any of it anymore. But anyway, so he's the guy who goes out and finds a facility where they can go and, you know, have lodging and practice facilities for the team and stuff. So there was like a 20-minute episode on it. So I watched that. And I just text back. And this was the first text I got from him. And I'm like, cool. I'm like, was this a series? And he texts back, yeah, but that was the only one I'm in because I was just the one on operations. And I'm like, oh, and I was at the Grateful Dead night at the movies in where was I? I think Sarasota or something, somewhere anywhere right around there. Sarasota, most likely. And so I take a picture of Jerry's face up on the screen and I send it to him. I'm like, Grateful Dead night at the movies. And it was a show at Giant Stadium, which I was there the day before, the first show on the 16th, and this was the 17th. Little Feet opened. And I'm like, yeah, Grateful Dead night at the movies, Giant Stadium, June 17th, 1991. And that was it. No response to my texts, no further communication. And I just thought there might be. And there needs to be a tumbleweed emoji, because that's the one I always want to go to. Just the tumbleweed, you know, as in just desolate, desolation. God, I haven't played that in a while. I got to make sure I play that this weekend. Desolation Row. 12 verses, or 13. And I know them all, but I have not played it in probably a month or two. At least a month. At least 6 weeks, I bet. I love that song, and I love singing it. I got it down pretty good. I kind of do a Bobby Weir version, you know. I think nobody did the Dylan better than Weir, in my opinion. He does Masterpiece, Stuck Inside a Mobile, Desolation Row, and they're all just awesome. Jerry does a great job too, but Jerry kind of mainly just makes them all ballads, and they're awesome. They're Jerry, great solos. But Bobby really just does a great job with his Dylan tunes. Did. D.I.D. did. Remember that? Terry Glenn? Do you want to play for the Patriots? I did. D.I.D. did. Fucking piece of shit. That was the start of my just really deciding to, nope, not going to root for these people anymore. Assholes like that. Multi-millionaire, and he's whining for who knows what it was. I need respect or something. Fuck off. I don't even want to know you're alive. And I don't. I probably couldn't name one person in the NFL now. And that's serious. I bet you I do not know. I mean, is Russell Wilson still in the NFL? Aaron Rodgers? I know those guys, but that's about it. I couldn't name one player on the New York Giants, and that's no lie. I can't even guess at a last name. And I don't miss it. I have nothing tugging at me at Sundays going, oh, I want to watch it, but I'm not gonna. It's just, nope, don't even think about it. And I think you're a loser if you do. I really do. The way it is now, I think you're a fucking loser if you watch professional sports. Doesn't mean you have to dislike the sport, but the professional leagues and all that shit, fuck it. It's just my opinion. Doesn't really mean anything. Other than it's my opinion. So the fact that anybody would get offended or be like, fuck you, man. Yeah, I think you're a loser if you're fucking wearing another man's shirt and going to a football game and paying whatever you pay for the beers and, oh, I can afford it. Great. Good for you, man. Good for you. Still a fucking loser. And I'm of the opinion, too, that those people all know that. In the pit of your stomach, you're like, oh, I got to do this. My friends think it. My friends are jealous of me because I can afford this, or my wife likes doing this, or, you know. I try and live as free and true to myself as I can. As in I don't think I'm lying to myself by not watching professional sports. Like, I do not have, nothing makes me want to, like I said, I'm not fighting myself to not watch it. You know, there's no tug at that at all anymore. And it's the people. You know, I'm not going to support people from Roger Goodell to the Maras, to the players themselves. There ain't anything good about any of those people. You know? And I'm sorry. I feel very, 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 very confident in that opinion about that. Now, I understand the Maras who own the Giants are nice. Like, if you're having dinner with them or meet them and shake their hand, they're nice individual, respect, but they're rotten people. John Mara wanted mandatory vaccines, no questions asked when the COVID shit started. You think he got a shot? Even if he didn't, it doesn't matter. But that's just, and that motherfucker was born into that job. He inherited that from his dad. So as long as he didn't turn into Hunter Biden, he was going to have that job. You know what I mean? So he's not like some businessman or self-made man. So to say he's the paragon of anything, of business or righteousness or anything, is fucking horseshit. He's a fucking piece of shit. Elitist asshole. I remember my brother, the last thing I did with my brother involved with the Giants, when they played Tampa Bay, this was the year before Brady joined him. So my brother got me on the field, and I had to like pick up water cups and shit like that. You know, and I'm in the locker room. But the Giants won that game, and they weren't even very good. But then after the game, the team has just won, packing up, getting ready to leave, and John Mara comes into the locker room because in like the back section, you know, the coaches and the owner have their clothes. Like, he actually has a separate set of clothes to watch the game, and then he gets into a different set of clothes to leave the stadium and get on the plane. But my brother's like, John Mara's coming in. Everybody had to be quiet because the owner was coming in. They just won the game, but you gotta be quiet because John Mara is a quiet person. It was just fucking, I'm like, you've gotta be fucking kidding me. These people are fucking worthless, fucking horse, fucking pieces of shit. And my brother, he they've been good to my brother. And like I said, they're nice people. But it doesn't mean everything, what they do and what they do through the power of their position as NFL owners and stuff is bad. That's what I'm talking about. It makes them bad people. You remember the last time when the Giants beat the Patriots and the mother was in there like and going up to Terry Bradshaw while he's trying to interview people or hand out the MVP or something? She had too much to drink, no doubt, but it's like, that's essentially who they are, though. I do whatever I want, whenever I want. You know, and they got this little Frankie Mara. He's the younger brother, you know, vice president of charities or something. Just an arrogant little fucking faggot. He's like this 5'5" guy. And my brother, I've met him, you know, every time I do something with the Giants, I was a ball boy for him. But it's like, hey, my brother, hey, how you doing? Just get like a nod. Never, ever once tried to talk to me or treat me like I was like not just beneath him. You know? Just a worthless piece of shit born into fucking privilege. That's white privilege. And there ain't a lot of them, a lot of us white people who have it. But that's a guy who has it. Total fucking worthless, pussy, fucking piece of shit. And Frankie Mara, you see this? That's it. And you fucking do anything to my brother because of this, I will come and wedgie the fucking living shit out of you. Your underwear will be pulled over your head. Because my brother doesn't like me either, so don't take it out on him. And that's my fatal flaw, man. I see people act like that, and I can't get over it, and I can't kiss their ass to make it better for myself. And I can't, you know. I mean, I'm old enough now, and have been taken down by that you either can look past that. You know, it's my brother's a servant. A well-paid one, and one that many people are jealous of, but essentially a servant of the Maras, you know, and at their beck and call anytime. And that's observation. That's not negative. He's a servant, though. And you know, that's all. See, now we're on the edge, obviously, on the edges of civilization. All this shit's new. Yeah, well, like I said, I did drive through here not too long ago, but it was late. I think. Where was it? No, maybe it was during the day. Because I do remember stopping up on... I'd never been up, like, the northeast part of Okeechobee there, you know? So I remember getting out, and it's even more expansive view out there. You're when you pull off, there's a dike that I pulled off at, and you're like right on the edge of the water. There wasn't like the little trees and stuff in front of it. If you were with me at that point, I don't know if anybody was watching, but see, you could pull over there. We could right now. I'm not gonna. I could though. I guess I maybe should have. Never stopped there. See, all this is new though. There's all those massive houses. You know, like you buy a lot in Florida here, you build the house right to the edge. Ain't nobody, you know, with your pool in the back. Nobody goes out in the yard. Nobody plays wiffle ball anymore, which is one of the greatest travesties and in my mind somehow is connected to where we're at as a society, man. We used to be out street hockey, wiffle ball, football, you know, not touch football, tackle. We used to play a thing called end zone amongst my friends. And it was basically, you had like a 10 yard in the end zone, and you just throw the ball up, and whoever caught it would run into the end zone and back out beyond the 10 yard line and run back in as many times as you could. And this was just in a kid's yard. It wasn't like on a field. Which is what, and that was I was alive for that. Like John Smith, the kicker for the Patriots, he lived in my neighborhood, and he used to run a lot, and we'd be out playing street hockey from the time he got home to school till it got dark. And I remember him running by one day. We'd always be like, hi and shit. He's like, you boys got a league? He was British. And it's like, no. And the leagues are what ruin it. I mean, it's good to go and play organized hockey, but this is however many people there. If there's 4 or if there's 15, there's 2 teams, and we all play the whole time. It's not like, oh, whistles and oh, shift change and oh, he hasn't played enough yet. It's none of that. And that's what they did. They over-organized everything. There it is. Lion Country Safari. We came here back in the early 80s. We made the trip down one time. And you drive through and the animals are right there. It was pretty, it was interesting. A long ride, man. But there used to be nothing out here. Nothing except that. Pretty cool. All right, that's it. I'm going to listen to some music. I'm getting close to I don't know if it's technically West Palm Beach, but... All right, thanks for tuning in. I got another channel, The Freakin' Howley with a PH. No G with the apostrophe on freakin'. And that's where I put up my sets of music and stuff. And this is all for the poo, the shit, the other shit. Shit of life, you know? So, thanks for tuning in. Tell your friends.